The Beardsleys first arrived in Elkhart when Dr. Havilah Beardsley passed through in 1830. Recognizing the value of the rivers and the natural water power, Havilah decided to move to the region, and in 1831 he purchased the land that would become the beginnings of Elkhart. Havilah had the land plotted and named the new community Elkhart. Havilah continued to play a prominent role in the growth of the new town by building several mills and running a ferry for transportation across the river. His mills included flour, paper, carding, and sawmills. In 1848, Havilah constructed his home overlooking the St. Joseph and Elkhart rivers. Today the home is the oldest surviving dwelling in Elkhart. It served as Havilah's home until his death in 1856. His wife Rachel survived until 1890. In addition to her own children, she helped nephew Albert get his start from the home. Albert moved in with Rachel at the age of 15 in 1861 and began his career as a shop clerk at a local dry goods store. Despite his limited education, Albert would become a prominent business leader. By 1878, he was the owner of his own mill, and by 1891, the treasurer of the Dr. Miles Medical Company. Albert established a tradition of leadership in the company for many generations of Beardsleys that would help establish the company's fame with products like Alka-Seltzer and Flintstone vitamins. Albert also met Elizabeth Baldwin in Elkhart, and together they were married in 1872. The couple traveled to Venice, Italy frequently, and it became a favorite vacation spot for them. Elizabeth gave birth to their only child in 1880. They had a daughter they named Ruth. The baby died in infancy of hydrocephalus at age 7 months. Nearly 30 years after this tragedy, Albert and Elizabeth commissioned prominent local architect E. Hill Turnock to construct their new home. Their beautiful Beaux Arts mansion was completed in 1910 after 2 years of construction. Albert and Elizabeth continued to lead their community from their new home as public servants and generous philanthropists. In 1922, Elkhart established its first bookmobile as a result of the philanthropy of Elizabeth Beardsley. In 1924, Albert and Elizabeth both passed away, and their home became the residence of their nephew Arthur and his wife Stella Beardsley. Following Arthur's death in 1944, Ruthmere was sold to the Deputy family, who raised 6 sons in the home between 1945 and 1968. In 1968, Ruthmere was reacquired by the Beardsley family. Under the leadership of Albert's great-nephew Robert, the Beardsley Foundation invested in the purchase and restoration of Ruthmere. The project lasted 5 years, and in addition to the restoration included the acquisition of a large collection of fine arts. Ruthmere was reopened to the public in 1973, and in 1978 was placed on the National Register of Historic Places for the national significance of its architecture and art collections.